Hi, it's Xavier, and welcome to my bonsai retreat. And this is a short video, believe it or not, and it's really in relation to a number of the issues I face with the recording equipment and the sound equipment. And it's not an apology, but so many people are taking the time to comment on either sound or the general recording aspects that I just thought I'd put out a quick one to say what I'm using and what problems I encounter. And you'll have already noticed this video has gone dark within the space of about 20 seconds. And the reason why is because I've got this camera here, which is a Lumix DMC F7 FZ330. It's a bridge camera, and it's all singing, all dancing, and it has lots of buttons, switches, and although I've done a YouTube course in it, I find that I end up leaving it on auto, which means I struggle with light exposure and things like that, and I either get extremes of light, or I find the position I'm filming in, or things going in clouds. I know a lot of us face that issue. It's something that technically, although I've got the equipment probably to deal with it, mentally I haven't got the ability to deal with it. So I try to do my best. I've got a software system which I use, AVC Video, which allows me to either brighten or lighten, but it's not always effective. And most of you, I know, you're more than happy. But for those of you who that does annoy, you know, I'm trying my best, okay? And if I can get better at it, I will. So that's the camera. The other thing that I've noticed has come up more and more is about sound. And again, this isn't about being upset because people are commenting. I'm actually not. You know, I'm desperately trying to find the solution. What I've done is I've gone back right now. I've got my my mounted boom mic, which is plugged directly into the camera, and I was using that for the first year and a bit, and found that was generally quite effective. But the only problem I had issues with was when I turned to work on the tree. Obviously, the sound level changed, and that was one of the reasons why Alex kindly came up with this solution, which was this OSA wireless microphone, which is where you've seen me having the wireless thing on. And generally, again, this has been quite good, but I have noticed since I used this, I've been getting more and more comments about reverberation or echo, and yes, I noticed it's a different quality. And when I looked into it, I said that is one of the effects that you can face. There's also another issue, is that, see, you'll find now my sound has changed as I've faced away. When you're dealing with things, it's very hard to not turn away. So these things are actually quite good for when I'm working on my trees. I turn away or do other things. The problem I have is obviously if I put it up here or anywhere around here, at different points I'm reaching across and I'll knock it, and so there's going to be these sounds that I can't get round. And I think I indicated in an earlier video that if I had better funds, if I had the ability to learn a bit more about the technical side, then I could probably overcome some of these issues and make a much better sound and video experience for yourselves, rather than not only having bad bonsai skills but bad audio and video skills as well. But I suppose all I'm saying is I'm trying. This is what I've got at the moment. Do you know what? If you manage, in fact, that's how you can help me. If you share my channel across the board so that I get more and more people actually subscribing and watching and giving such helpful tips, then do you know what? I could probably afford to buy better equipment. I might even afford to be able to learn how to use my camera. Yeah, because I love doing this, so I'm here for the long haul. So anything I can do to make your experience better is what I want, because as a community, you've helped me no end. And I keep saying that, and I mean it. You have helped me get through some very difficult times, and I think made me a bit of a better person. Mind you, I don't think my kids would agree with that, and Alex probably wouldn't agree with that because he never ever comes over to see me. Anyway, enough of that. I've got these trees behind me. Before I do that, I will talk about, I've videoed quite a few things ahead, so sometimes you'll see that you'll get the fade out issue. I've resolved that. I actually video at a very, very clear set period early in the morning so the sun doesn't get in the way, which is why you're actually getting darkness at the moment. But there are a couple of videos you are going to see where I'm very, very faded out, so I only apologise now for that. So hopefully we'll end up finding a solution to those technical difficulties, but I'm sure you want to hear just a little bit about bonsai. I'm going to be doing my ash soon, and it's a really, really beautiful species of tree. and you wouldn't think suited to bonsai because of these compound leaves, but we'll talk about those more in another video. But I just love the way that's worked out. As I say, I got this from a dig, place where I used to buy my Christmas trees from. So it's funny how the way the trunk repairs itself and heals over wounds in this funny way. I certainly haven't done anything to aid that, but yeah, we'll see. That's a lovely Dawn Isaac pot, by the way. Now, the other thing that I was going to just briefly touch on is the trunk chops video. I was astounded. It's probably one of the best videos, and how it's performed initially was beyond belief, and I was really happy about how many new subscribers were actually commenting, so thank you very much for that. And that includes constructive views on it as well, because I don't get upset by that. Wabi Sabi, I really did appreciate what you had to say, and certainly I'm going to say now, sometimes we can overstress the taper as though it's a big issue, and I think he quite rightly pointed out to me that, you know, taper isn't the big issue. Sometimes it's just about understanding and knowing where we want to go with our tree, and recognizing that it's what we like. And the big one was this beech, and I can say now I'm still not 100% convinced I actually made the right decision, but what I do know is that how it was in its existing format, I didn't know where to go with it, and sometimes it's a personal thing. I've seen trees, certainly of a literati style, where you've got this lovely sort of sinuous trunk, and then you have this sort of top on it, and the trunk taper itself is pretty well the same all the way up, so I understand that point. The problem I had with the top of this particular tree was that it was heavy, and so if I was looking at keeping that lovely form going, I was looking for the top to be of a more delicate nature and structure, and it was heavy beech branching, so I didn't see an easy way to make the form that I wanted. And that's certainly not to say that someone else out there with skills couldn't have done it, because I'm sure someone else could have, but for me and where I'm at, it just didn't grab me that way. So for sustainability, I thought, you know, rather than continuing to sit in that format, I'll go for that chop. And the elm, a lot easier. That top was terrible, so that was an easy choice. I have no doubt that will be fine. A couple of people asked, when do I do these chops? And it is normally the beginning of summer. Post flush has happened, the tree roots have had all that energy put back into them, so if you're going to do something to a tree, this is probably one of the safest times to do it. And the only thing I would say is everything goes into the shade after that. What we don't want to do is tax what few leaves there are with the sun and scorch it, so the tree needs to recover somewhere. And the other thing, must be healthy, and I'm sure I said that, but also the pot that it's in needs to be sufficient to rebuild. And with this elm, it's quite a deep pot. I'm relatively happy that I could probably leave it in this, and if that continues to flourish, it'll be a few years that I might get a decent branch thickness. But truly, what I will probably be looking to do, and in this instance it will be in the autumn, just prior to the time when the trees start putting growth into the roots, I'll put that into a much deeper pot and leave it. And the intention will be to bring on the roots, but more to throw lots of energy into new growth, because this drum pot could be just a bit small and may actually stunt what it is I want to achieve. So that's something I don't think I mentioned, which probably is quite important. Once you do those major trunk tops, make sure the pot is of a large enough size to allow you to get the energy that you're going to need to thicken up those new branches. So, thank you very much for taking the time to listen. I do appreciate all the comments, and if I ever raise an issue, it's not because I'm trying to dig at someone. I really am not. I really appreciate it. It helps me, and if it can make the channel better so that everyone enjoys what's being filmed or done, then that's a bonus, isn't it? Yeah, so from Xavier in his bonsai retreat, about to crack on with the ash, and also the Genko I'm going to be doing now. I'll say thanks very much for taking the time to watch this, and I look forward to enjoying community a lot more in the future. Happy bonsai and God bless. Cheers.